It's weird. It's weird.
You hear? It's not like that. The other girl, it's not like that. The Victim Olympics is alive and well with Corona and Inky, but we'll get to that. James and TaTa seem to not be able to get on the same page with kids, and it's not getting any better. Josh is just looking for an excuse for whatever reason to not sleep with Lily. Interesting. And Shawn and Joanna seem to be dealing with some fallout with finally telling the kids in the family about the marriage. Interesting decisions they made. It's not turning out well. First, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications. I definitely appreciate the support. Now, James and TaTa seem to be trying to find their way in the new country that, well, his new country, not her new country, and they can't seem to get anything right. The banana chip thing fell through because who would have thought that that wasn't going to make them any money? They can't get on the same page with kids, and they're dealing with the fact that they left their dog behind. But they're treating the dog like it's a child, while as some sort of surrogate, while she wants a child, but he just won't come out and say the fact that he don't want kids. Just kind of ruining it for her, which is wrong. But let's see where they're at.
So if we can't get a life situated over here, if we can't find a way to support ourselves, then we would be permanently separated from him.
Yes?
Can we at least visit him?
No! What you don't understand is y'all don't have any money. You wanted to come live over here. Great. He doesn't want kids. Get on the same page with something. Where you live, kids, something or other. Now you have this dog. You both love the dog. Great. Dog had to get left behind because of a rabies outbreak. Well, now you're not bringing the dog over because he's kind of leaving the window open for going back to the United States, and who could blame him? For one, we knew this was going to end the same way it's ended the other time for him because, well, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And two, well, he's trying to see what's going on and what's happening, and he doesn't want to bring the dog over there because guess what? It can't go back with him because of the whole rabies outbreak situation. So he's letting her know, and she wants to know why we can't go visit him. And you know, that almighty dollar seems to get in the way when there's no job for either of them. It's just not turning out well for this marriage and, everything in between.
Because I do just miss him.
Oh, do you?
He completes our family, you know?
All right, listen. If that is not an utter slap in the face to her, it should be, because she wants a child that would actually complete your family. Now, caveat, I have a dog. I love my dog. It is not a child. It will never be a child. It will never be family in that way. Now, we have pets as part of our family, and they mean a lot to us. But it's not going to be a substitute for an actual child that is yours, that you raise together as a family. It's just not. So you trying to make it seem like this completes our family. She is trying to hold on to this dog because she knows deep down that that's all she's got. She knows deep down that he doesn't want children. But he's not outright saying it, kind of really depriving her and not giving her that option of, if I really want kids, then I may have to look elsewhere or find some other options because he just doesn't want them. Instead, he knows that that might leave the door open for her leaving, and so he's actually trying to withhold and kind of string her along, which is wrong on so many levels.
We're not able to get our feet under us fast enough. What if I didn't think that I could stay here permanently? Like, would you come back with me if that was something that happened?
Would you, though? Watch the reaction.
If that's like the last choice.
Look at her face.
Maybe.
That is not the face of someone who is ever going to go back with you to the United States. Keep that in mind.
But let's make that not happen.
And she follows it up with, but let's make that not happen. She's not going anywhere. So she wants to stay there. You really don't. It's clear you don't. I don't know what you were thinking, that you were going to go back and like actually make a living in the family business of banana chips. That I don't know if she told you, but a minor research would probably tell you that the economy is not in Indonesia what it is in the United States, and that you're just not going to make that much money regardless. So no plan going in, and now he's kind of double, thinking back and like, maybe I need to go back. But she doesn't want to go back. So they're not on the same page with that. They're not on the same page with kids. How are they going to make this work? It just doesn't seem like it's heading in the right direction.
What's the age that you would want to have kids by?
Okay.
Max.
Now, this right here, what he's doing is he's looking to see what his time frame is. So he's trying to see what she says at when she wants to have kids, so how long he has, which is 100% wrong, because he's trying to see how many years he's got before it might actually be a problem, and he can kind of figure out how to handle it within that time and keep her. Very selfish, very wrong, depriving her, who clearly wants to be a mother, of the option. And right now, just because of his own selfish needs of he doesn't want to leave her, but he doesn't want a family, if you love someone, be honest with them. If you don't want kids, fine, but be honest and give them the option as well to handle it how they see fit. He is not doing that, and it is completely wrong. And quite frankly, it makes him not such a good person.
Simone is like 33 because I have health issues.
So she is 28. So basically, I believe she was 28, 27 or 28. So that gives him 5 or 6 years in his mind. I'm telling you what's going on in his mind, because, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what he's doing. 5 or 6 years. In his mind, it's like, well, within 5 or 6 years, I can figure it out and figure out a way to convince her that, you know, we don't need kids and we can be together and we can be happy, just us two. And that is his goal. Instead of being like, okay, I need to be honest with you. I don't want children. I'm telling you that because I love you, and I want to give you the option of whatever that means. I want you to be with me, but I also don't want to deprive you of that. So we need to have some tough conversations. And that is a hard one to have. But right now, he's just biding time and hoping that she changes her mind, or she gets too comfortable that she's like, all right, fine, I won't have kids, leading to resentment later in life. It's not heading down a good path.
In me, we are complete together.
In his mind.
You're enough for me.
But
it be complete if we have a kid.
Exactly. So he is trying so hard to guilt her by saying, but you're enough for me. Am I not enough for you? And she's saying, you're enough for me. I love you, basically, but I want to complete our family with a child. If they don't start having these tough conversations, the same problem is going to persist as long as they're together. What ultimately is probably going to end up happening, she's either going to have a realization or something. Maybe it's the money thing. He's going to go back. She's got to have the realization at some point that he doesn't want kids. And then if she really wants kids, she needs to leave him alone. Let it go. He can go be alone or find someone that doesn't want children, whatever. But as far as she's concerned, it's very clear that it's going to be hard to change her mind on wanting a child. She really wants that. And it's part of the culture, and it's part of her just wanting to be a mom. But not much is going to change that aspect of it. So right now, all he's doing is biding his time, trying to figure out a way. And it's extremely selfish, wrong. He doesn't deserve to be called a man at this point because he's not actually protecting the woman he loves. So his man card is, I don't know if I took it, but revoked, because right now he is not being a real man standing up for the woman he loves and being honest with her. So you don't deserve to be called a man, my friend. We'll see how it pans out. Not too well. I can already tell you right now. Anyways, Inky and Corona continue to be an interesting couple because she is on a never-ending crusade to be the gold medal winner of the Victim Olympics. She is just trying to see how someone can not be so nice to her there because she's black. And she continues to beat this home. So what she's doing now is she's found a group of black Icelanders, that Icelanders that live there, and she's trying to see what their experience is and how it feels. Now, nothing wrong with that. Nothing finding a group of people and trying to be like, hey, let's connect and everything like that. But the problem is she's trying to get the lowdown on what's going on.
Get the lowdown on how they feel.
Literally.
About being black living in Iceland.
Yeah.
What
Now,
I'm getting myself into.
What do you mean what you're getting yourself into? Ever since she's gotten there, there has not been any indication of anyone mistreating her, from his family, friends, to just being out in public. Trust me, they would have highlighted it if it was there. As of right now, it seems like she's had a pretty good experience there, but she's still trying to see, no, but tell me what the real truth is. What am I missing here? And that's where she's going with this. But it gets interesting, that's for sure.
Either you're completely noticed or completely avoided. Yeah. I get this. A lot.
Okay.
Aww. Okay. It's weird. It's weird.
You hear? It's not like that. The other girl, it's not like that. His whole thing is, you go in or you're either really noticed or you're not. Not no one says anything. What he says is that, I get this a lot. They apparently turn their head, and that by some indication is because you're different, or they just don't know you, and it's just you're making things up at this point. Who cares if you walk in any place and they turn their head? There is no indication that anyone is treating you any differently. And then the lady right next to him is like, no, I don't get that at all. But the other one tries to go on and say that, well, maybe it's because we're women. Okay, well, what are you talking about? If you've had a decent experience, just say it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being, hey, this country is very welcoming. They've been very kind to us. Instead of pointing out that maybe some people turn their head when they walk in, explain to me how that does anyone any good.
So that's the plan.
So have you looked into basically all that entails to now moving here?
Honestly, I should have looked harder at everything that I need to do, but sometimes you get blinded by love. But now I'm here, so I need to start figuring it out.
Okay, so you were so dead set on midwifery school. You want to be a midwife that you're like, oh, I can, forego where I was gonna go and just go in Iceland. But you didn't bother to really do even some rudimentary research on it. And now you're like, I probably should look into how it might be different. Yeah, because considering you say that is your main dream, you may want to know if it's going to be an issue, because that might cause problems in your relationship if you can even stay there. Now, you seem to want to go ahead and get married. He seems to be more like, we're just kind of hanging out. Y'all need to get on the same page with that stuff first before you talk about actually going to school there and maybe learning the language and doing all that kind of stuff.
Do not have a good bite on the language. I'm not sure that they'll receive your qualifications as well.
That sucks.
It sucks, but it makes sense. Now, if you can't even speak a little bit of their language, it would make sense for them to be like, hey, sorry, you might want to learn it first before you kind of get considered for these positions or this school or anything like that. But we'll see how the language matters here in just a little bit. The fact is she's acting stunned by all this, like, what? It might be a problem if I don't have a good understanding of the language? Well, yeah, if you're going to be working in different medical facilities, even if a lot of people speak English there, you're not in America, you're in Iceland. So it's reasonable to say that they would want you to at least somewhat understand and speak the language. Just makes sense.
How difficult it's going to be makes me very nervous.
Wonder
Being a
why.
midwife is very obviously the most important thing to me.
Not so much, because you're hearing all this and it seems like you're shocked when a little bit of research probably could have got you a little more knowledge. Now, she goes on to say, I did some research, but with the English language translation on the different websites, like, okay, you didn't do much research if you're just going off a little bit of translation on one website to tell you what it takes to get into the school. She just assumed. That's the problem, is she assumed everything was going to be good. She assumed because she's got, a degree and all these things and she did well in school that she's just going to hop in there. Well, that's your problem, is you came off as entitled like it was going to happen instead of really doing the research. Now, it looks like you worked hard for what you got before, so common sense would have told you might want to do a little bit more research into something like this, considering it's a different country. But she didn't do that because she just thought, I got this covered. I got it in the bag. Not so much.
Okay.
It was definitely nice to meet up with other Black people that live in Iceland the other day and to hear their experiences and their stories. But I've got to be honest, it scared the out of me because they brought up a lot of obstacles that I may face in my path to becoming a midwife here in Iceland.
Common sense things that you just didn't bother to even look into because you thought, hey, it's mine. I got it. I'm going to take it. And this lady's like, no. I mean, that's basically what you got here. You have all these things you have to do, and you're just not going to be able to do it as easily. Now, can it be done? Yeah, and she's probably a smart girl, and so she probably can do it. But the fact is you didn't even consider these things, and now you feel like your world is crumbling down when it should have been something you knew ahead of time, and you could have decided, do I really want to go to Iceland, or do I want to finish school here and go there where I was already accepted into a supposedly great program, but you decided not to go. So instead of making that decision, you just assume you had it in the bag in this school. Not the smartest thing to do.
You need to hold a Bachelor of Nursing and a nursing license in Iceland.
Okay.
You would
And?
need to speak or read the Icelandic language
Okay.
because all the courses are taught in Icelandic.
Seems like not just a mundane detail there, and something you might want to have considered. I mean, I guess you could have started learning the language, but it's going to be a little bit of a daunting task either way to be able to learn the language, to be able to learn in Icelandic. And the fact is she goes on to talk about, hey, well, is there any kind of languages, maybe I can do a course here and take the classes? How the hell do you think you're going to be learning a language and they're going to be teaching you the basics while trying to learn all the complexities of being a midwife in Iceland? How is that going to work? Like she's just got this view that it's going to be so simple and everything. Maybe she did well and it was easy for her in school, when in reality you're talking about a whole different culture, a whole different language, and it's time to be realistic here. Could you do it? Sure. Could you learn a language and then do it? Sure. But is that something you want to do? Do you want to take all that time to just learn the language and then go? It's a lot of questions for something that doesn't even look like it's more of a relationship other than just kind of having fun. I know she wants more, but he kind of seems like, I'm just happy where we're at right now. Time to make some tough decisions. We'll see what happens with it. I don't anticipate it's going to be a good, happy ending. She's probably going to end up going back to the States, and it's probably going to work out better for her in the long run. But gold medal for the Victim Olympics because she was trying so hard to be a victim, and they just won't let it happen in Iceland. Just not happening. Quick update on Josh and Lily. They are still having trouble with intimacy and whatever it is that makes her feel like she's not loved. He tried to do something, take her to a dance class, but he still comes off as, just trying to, avoid having sex with her? I don't know what's going on with this guy. But he's trying to make it seem like he loves her, while still supposedly they haven't had sex since he got there. Which is interesting considering this is your wife, and you've been there for a week or two now, so there's a problem there.
6, 7, 8, yes. Good.
Yes. Are you having fun?
I love you.
Love you.
You're so pretty.
You're so pretty, but not so pretty that I'm going to sleep with you, though. I mean, listen, I know she brings up money a lot. I get it. But he's kind of a man-child, and the problem here is that he's trying so hard to convince her he loves her without doing what she really wants, which is to be intimate. So I don't know what's going on there, but they got some stuff to work out. Clearly, there's going to be a lot more bumpy roads in the future because the money still continues to be a problem, and he can't make any right now, and he's still not even trying to be intimate with her, which is her main thing. She doesn't feel loved. So, dude, you're going to have to get on the ball, and a dance class is not going to do it. But, hopefully he shapes up. Now, Shawn and Joanne finally told the family that they were together, they were married, and it just didn't seem to go well. And I wonder why, because you're all of a sudden saying we're married when you were acting like, oh, we're just trying to get to know each other and things like that. His daughter didn't even know they were together. At least the boys knew that they were together, but they sure as hell didn't know they had been married for 2 years.
I think I was waiting for the perfect moment, so that was on me.
Yeah.
And then the more time that passed, the harder it got to tell you guys.
You know when the time to tell them was? Before you actually did it. I want to marry Shawn, and then you say you talk with him about it or whatever, you can make your ultimate decision, but not telling them and then saying, I'm trying to find the right time after you've already done it. You did that because you wanted to do something that you were afraid someone would tell you maybe isn't the best idea. That's simply, y'all can say you did it for love when we were in the moment. No, you did it because you were trying to do something very quickly because you were afraid someone was going to say, hey, slow it down. Maybe it's not the right time. So that was just an impulse decision. And then you're trying to make up for it by saying, well, I just tried to find the right time, but it never came. Nah, lady, you didn't think about your kids. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Live here with you and Shawn. Where would we stay in New York?
I mean, I'm still gonna have a home in New York for you guys. Like,
What?
I'm not gonna not have a home there.
What? So you're going to have a home there that you're going to leave because I guess you're independently wealthy, good for you. But you're going to leave a home there and you're going to come back for 2 or 3 weeks and then they're just going to stay there? What, the older one's going to watch the younger one? No, you're going to use the grandparents, so it's just a home without you. Lady, look, you have a young 10, 11-year-old son and you're talking about moving across the world. You really don't see that might be a problem? I mean, there's a reason why Shawn doesn't want to leave his daughter in Ireland, but you're willing to go over there and leave your son. Come on, there's a lot of problems with that. And he is gonna be upset by this. He may act like he's okay, but it's gonna bother the kid. I promise you that.
Your opinion matters to me, your feelings matter, and I will not abandon my kids.
But you are, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your opinions matter, and I will not abandon my kids. So what she's saying is, if you give me your blessing, but then you promptly are going to leave and stay over in Ireland. She keeps saying, this is going to be home base. This is going to be home base. Okay, you're going to be over there more than you're going to be with your kids. So not technically abandonment, but you're definitely leaving them to be away from them more than you're actually with them. So that's a problem. It's going to cause issues. Now, the older one's 18, but are you really an adult at 18? Most people are not fully mature. Their brains are still developing into their 20s. So even the older kid is going to have a problem with it, but the younger one especially. And she's just not thinking through this. Like, she's the one making more of the sacrifice moving over there. Now, Shawn's made it clear, so I don't have anything against him. So far, he seems like a nice guy. But he doesn't want to leave his daughter. But you're going to leave your sons. You might want to think on this a little bit more.
You good? You want to ask me any questions, or are you okay?
Are the boys gonna move here?
Good question.
I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know what's happening. We have a lot to think about and a lot to go over. We just wanted to tell you the news today, so.
Yeah, tell us 2 years later. Like what?
That kid is funny.
You need a better brain.
She said you need a better brain. That kid is a sassy kid. I like that kid, but she's right. Y'all, 2 years later, and y'all didn't tell him, so he's wrong too. Now, he's kind of having a little bit more of an easier time, but at the same time, she didn't even know they were together. So she knew less than the boys did. So that's a problem too. She seems to be taking it well, but she also doesn't have the prospect of losing her dad. He's staying over there with her. So different dynamic. So this should be interesting to see how it plays out. Ultimately, I would be shocked if the boys say, I don't want you to go over there, and she actually doesn't go over there. So I think the writing is on the wall, and she's probably still going to go over there, and maybe they accept it. Either way, it's going to cause some sort of rift, so they got to play that out and see how it happens. But the idea was that they should have been told, should have been kept in the loop from the get-go. They weren't, and now they have that extra layer of like things they have to deal with and work through that they shouldn't have had to begin with had they just been honest and said, hey, we're together, we want to be together, we want to get married. Unfortunately, they didn't do that, and now it's a problem. So as it moves on, we will see if they actually end up together. I do not have high hopes. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate the support. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And also, Married at First Sight is actually coming back on the 15th. The leak was wrong. Apparently, the first episode is going to be on the 15th, so look for that. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again, and I will see y'all next time.